Okay, today's video is a little bit different, only because somebody, John Nielsen in Denmark, emailed me with 3 questions about the recent past, present, and future spread that we looked at. And so I was going to reply to him, but then I thought maybe you would enjoy or get something out of the questions and the answers. And also, if you have comments or you've got follow-ups, let me know in the comments or send me an email, and maybe we'll develop a discussion about this, which will help all of us to read cards better. And the first question had to do with, there were no major trumps in the spread. The spread was the 7 of Pentacles reversed, the Page of Batons, and the Page of Swords for past, present, and future, but there were no major trumps. And there's a lot that could be said about this, but I have to keep it brief. So sometimes when we do a spread, we want major trumps because it can make the reading seem more important, and the information that we give the questioner can have greater significance because we've got major trumps. At the same time, a major trump might be referring to a life lesson, right? So it's a kind of experience we have that is not just like one step and it's finished. It can be repeating experiences or lessons or mistakes that we have to correct, that are going to take time to correct. Or it can be about long-term goals or long-term development. Whereas this particular spread that we just looked at, it was a bit like, if the questioner could deal with what's immediate and make some small changes there and get organized, so know what the values are, and then think about the long term and be organized as well. That's the starting point, and that's the foundation on which to build. The questioner doesn't really need information about long-term important life lessons to be learned. Okay, the second question was, there were no cups, and that's fair enough. And I didn't really notice that there were no cups. But if you think about it, the first card was Pentacles, which is values, and we can find that in thinking about the values that the questioner cares about, then interrelationships with other people can be included in the value sense. So cups may not have been represented directly with a cup card, but the idea of cups and people and relationships and love and family and so on, that actually can be included in the suit of Pentacles as values. And the last question had to do with, why did I think that the Page of Batons and the Page of Swords referred to the questioner and not to other people? So that's fair enough. They could have referred to other people. Partly I only had 5 minutes, but also the question, if the question had been, tell me about work, past, present, and future, then the Page of Batons and the Page of Swords could more obviously be about other people. If the question has been about, tell me about relationships, past, present, and future, then the 2 pages could obviously represent, and I probably would have focused more on those pages as being other people. But the question was the past, present, and future. There was no area of life that was to be particularly considered. But if you think about it, we need other people so that they can teach us about us. Right, so if there's people that you like and enjoy, their values are what they care about and what they do is telling you about what you care about and what you like to do. Right, so they're teaching us about us, and especially they teach us about us when we get really annoyed with them, because when we're upset by somebody's what they say or what they do, it's an alert that our impression of what we're like isn't quite accurate. We're not as good, let's say, as we think we are. And so when we get really annoyed with other people, if we turn the spotlight on us and examine our own self and motives and behavior, we're going to discover something that will be useful for us to know. So you can look at a court card as describing somebody else, but if you talk about the court card as belonging to and describing the person asking the question, you're never going to go wrong, because sometimes court cards represent other people that we're going to meet, but they always represent us. They always represent the questioner. So if you limit your statements about the court card to describing the questioner, you won't go wrong. Even if somebody comes into the picture who behaves the way that the court card behaves, you're still not going to go wrong if you just focus on using the court card to describe the questioner. That's it. I'll probably pick a card later and so tomorrow will be probably a random card. That's it for the moment. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.